Hello, happy January. I hope you're sitting by a crackling fire and drinking hot chocolate, but somehow I know that none of you are. You put on your parkas and your boots and your mittens and you trudged off to work or school or whatever you had to do, because that's what we do in the North Woods. But today I wanted to check in with you and ask for your help, especially with communication with our bus drivers. And I also wanted to take a moment to review with you why we would call a cold day or a snow day. Let's call this an oldie but a goodie, take two from last year. The next couple of days are going to be cold. And I just want to remind you that a cold day does not necessarily mean a cancellation day. I'm alerted by the NOAA Weather Service several times a day regarding how the conditions are going to affect our area in particular. And I feel that they're very accurate, and this is good information. I also do make a point of checking with our other superintendents around us and see what conditions they're facing or what kind of thoughts they're having. But I just want to remind everybody, the decisions made for Three Lakes are specific to our Three Lakes School District. It can be very different in Phelps or Rhinelander from what we're experiencing here. Cold weather, that's not the case as much as snowfall. I'm already watching for Monday and Tuesday. I have no plans on canceling at this point because although it's going to be very cold, it's not the extreme cold we've seen, but that is yet to be seen. Not only that, our buildings are warm and toasty, and if we can get here safely, there's nothing really else to do but do some learning. We're not going to be playing outside in that cold weather. Our families really rely on busing, and the buses do pretty well until about minus 20 to 25 degrees. And that's a concern because the fuel can gel while the buses are on the road. That slows down and delays pickup times, and that's something I'm thinking about when kids are standing outside. Also, our buses are run by the independent contractors who don't necessarily have a bus barn, and they certainly don't have a backup fleet of buses waiting in case there's a breakdown. That too is a consideration that we keep in mind here in Three Lakes. As I've shared with you before, I fear extreme cold more than I do snowfall. Snow we can get around in pretty good. We have to be aware of snow blowing and drifting, but you know, those conditions can be kind of changeable considering what's going on at the moment. Worst of all is freezing rain, because that can develop black ice. That's more of an early winter or late winter event, but nowadays who knows what we're going to get, so we keep that in mind. My main ask of you today is to please be in contact with your bus driver. If you know your student isn't going to be on the bus, please make sure you contact the bus driver directly. Right now I'm referring to sicknesses. We see an increase in sickness, and don't rely on calling the school office. After 4 p.m. and before the start of the day at between 7 and 7:30, no one will get your message. Directly communicate with your bus driver. They're already on the road very early and they need this information. Again, if it's cold, and I'm not talking canceling weather cold, but cold standing outside waiting for the bus, our driver is going to wait at your driveway at least a few minutes to 5 minutes or so to make sure your student is not coming. That delays the rest of the route, and I don't want to think about anybody standing in the cold any longer than they have to be doing so. If you don't have your bus driver's number, please call the business office, Michelle, at 715-546-3496. We'll be happy to give you the bus driver's numbers. I talk to the bus drivers frequently, and they would rather get your call in advance than be worried about your child in the morning or wondering what's going on. So that's kind of it for today. My message is stay warm, stay safe. Just remember that this too will pass. January turns into February, which turns into March, and then, you know, we won't even be remembering these cold days come June. Thanks, and have a great weekend.